Beneath the endless snow of the Ural Mountains lies a mystery that has defied explanation for over 6 decades. 9 hikers, full of life and ambition, vanished into the frozen wilderness in 1959. Their story became more than tragedy, it became legend. What rescuers found was disturbing, unnatural, and terrifying. This was not simply a case of people lost to the cold. This was something much darker. The expedition was led by Igor Dyatlov, a confident and experienced young man. He gathered 9 companions, all skilled hikers from the Ural Polytechnic Institute. Together, they planned a journey to reach the peak of Otorten. The trip would earn them a certification in advanced hiking. It was supposed to be a mark of pride and strength. None of them knew it would become their final test. Among them was Yuri Yudin, who would soon fall ill. His sickness forced him to turn back before the worst began. That twist of fate saved his life and left him haunted forever. The other 9 pushed forward through fierce blizzards and bone-chilling winds. They skied, sang, and wrote in their journals with hopeful words. But nature and something unknown were watching them closely. Days passed, and the hikers failed to arrive at their destination. Families grew worried as time stretched beyond expectation. A search party was launched across the white wilderness. What they found chilled them deeper than the icy winds. The tent stood on the slope, silent, abandoned. Its appearance would raise questions that remain unanswered today. The canvas was cut open from the inside, not the outside. It looked as though the hikers had slashed their way out in panic. Inside lay their boots, coats, and supplies untouched. Nothing was stolen, nothing disturbed. Why would trained hikers run into sub-zero conditions without gear? The answer has never been found. Footprints in the snow led rescuers down toward the forest. Some were barefoot, some wore only socks, others a single boot. The tracks stretched for more than a mile. Then the trail ended as if swallowed by the night. It was here the first bodies were found, and they told a story of desperation. Under a cedar tree lay 2 men, dressed only in underwear. Their hands were torn, branches above them broken. It seemed they had tried to climb for safety or shelter. The cold had stripped them of life in silence. Nearby, the remains of a small fire smoldered in the snow, but warmth had not been enough to save them. A short distance away lay 3 more bodies. Dyatlov himself was among them, along with 2 companions. They were positioned as though they were crawling or stumbling, their faces frozen with terror, their bodies stiff with defeat. It was clear they had tried to return to the tent, but the mountain had taken their final breath. The search for the others stretched on for weeks. Snow buried all signs of their existence. Finally, months later, the last 4 hikers were discovered. They were found deep within a ravine, half covered by snow. Unlike the others, their deaths were far more violent. And this is where the true horror begins. One man's skull was crushed with a force like a car accident. 2 women had ribs broken and lungs pierced. One victim was missing her eyes, another her tongue. The injuries defied natural explanation. It was as if something or someone had attacked them. Yet there were no footprints, no sign of an enemy. The snow revealed no struggle, only stillness. How could injuries so violent leave no trace of violence? And what of the radiation detected on their clothes? This strange element only deepened the questions. The world was left with a mystery wrapped in fear. And to this day, it has never been solved. As the investigation dragged on, theories began to form. Authorities searched for logical explanations. But each idea collapsed under the weight of the evidence. An avalanche was considered, but the slope was too shallow. Animals could not cause such injuries without marks of struggle. So what force had driven 9 people to their doom? The official case was closed without answers. It was ruled simply as a compelling natural force. But the phrase solved nothing, only leaving shadows. The families grieved without truth, and the mountain carried its secret deeper into the snow. Thus was born the legend of Dyatlov Pass. Whispers soon spread beyond the investigation. People asked, why had the case been closed so quickly? Why were the families given so little explanation? Rumors of cover-ups began to grow like frost. Some believed the government was hiding the truth. Others suspected something far worse. One theory suggested secret military testing in the area. The Ural Mountains were remote, isolated, and perfect for experiments. Could the hikers have wandered into a forbidden zone? Were they victims of weapons tests gone wrong? The radiation on their clothes gave fuel to this belief, but official voices denied such claims. Another theory involved infrasound, a low-frequency vibration. Scientists speculated that the wind across the mountain created panic. Infrasound can disorient the mind, inducing fear and confusion. But could sound waves really cause broken bones and missing eyes? The explanation seemed weak and unsatisfying. The mystery remained intact. Stories of glowing orbs in the night sky soon appeared. Could the hikers have seen something they were not meant to see? Did these orbs cause them to flee in terror? Some whispered of alien encounters in the snow. The theory, though fantastic, refuses to die. Others turned to folklore for answers. The local Mansi people spoke of spirits that haunted the peaks. Legends told of sacred mountains where outsiders were not welcome. Had the hikers disturbed something ancient and forbidden? The deaths seemed too unnatural to be simple accidents. But no spirit was ever seen by investigators. Years turned to decades, and the story only grew darker. Books, films, and documentaries spread the tale worldwide. The Dyatlov Pass Incident became more than Russian history. It became a global symbol of unsolved terror. Researchers and amateurs alike searched for new evidence, but the mountain kept its silence. Photographs from the hikers' cameras were developed. They showed smiling faces, music, and laughter. But the final frames were unsettling. Dark images of light in the sky. Were they simply accidents of exposure? Or had the group captured their last moments alive? The photos remain haunting to this day. The journals told stories of optimism until the end. Plans for the future, jokes, and notes of adventure. There was no sign of despair or conflict among them. They were friends, united by trust and experience. Yet within days, they would be torn apart. Something had shattered their world overnight. Forensic experts puzzled over the wounds again and again. Some suggested the tongue was taken by animals after death. But how to explain the precision, the strangeness? No teeth marks, no evidence of feeding. The radiation continued to raise questions. It was too specific to be ignored, yet too vague to explain. Some argued the hikers carried equipment from their institute. Others suggested fallout from distant tests contaminated the snow. But the mystery deepened rather than cleared. No solid answer was ever proven. In 2019, the Russian government reopened the investigation. They promised a fresh look with modern science. Families hoped for closure, but the result disappointed. Yet experts doubted this explanation immediately. The terrain simply did not support it. Avalanches leave traces, debris, pressure signs, snow patterns. But the camp revealed none of these. And still, the violent injuries remained unexplained. No snow alone could crush a skull like iron. No snow could remove a tongue with such precision. The Dyatlov Pass Incident stood as it always had. A wound in history unhealed, unexplained. The mountain whispered, but never spoke the truth. And the world continued to wonder. Survivor Yuri Yudin lived the rest of his life in shadow. He often said he wished he had been with his friends. Though illness spared him, guilt never left his heart. He believed the truth was hidden by authorities, and he died without answers, carrying the weight of survival. His memories are now part of the legend. The site of the tragedy became a place of pilgrimage. Researchers, journalists, and conspiracy theorists traveled there. They walked the same frozen paths as the hikers. They felt the icy wind cut into their faces. Some claimed the mountain itself carried an aura of fear. The silence of the pass became its voice. Over the decades, the case files were revisited many times. Each new investigation produced the same result: confusion. Experts disagreed, theories contradicted each other. The deeper people looked, the stranger the story became. The Dyatlov Pass refused to give up its secret. It seemed to guard the truth like a curse. Some scientists proposed a rare natural phenomenon. They spoke of snow slabs, sudden winds, or katabatic storms. But still, the evidence did not fit completely. The hikers' wounds were too severe, too unusual. Nature alone did not seem enough. Others suspected Soviet secrecy was the true explanation. 1959 was a time of Cold War paranoia, Perhaps the hikers stumbled onto forbidden ground. Perhaps they saw something they should not have seen. Military tests, radiation leaks, classified experiments, the possibilities remain chilling. And then there are the unexplained lights. Multiple witnesses in the region described glowing orbs. They floated in the sky above the mountains that night. Were they missiles, weapons tests, or something unearthly? Theories of UFOs became woven into the legend. It gave the mystery a cosmic dimension. The Dyatlov Pass Incident is more than an unsolved case. It is a mirror of human fear and curiosity. It shows how fragile life is against the unknown, and how much we crave answers that may never come. The hikers were ordinary people chasing adventure, but their deaths made them eternal symbols. Even today, the photographs remain haunting. Smiling faces in the snow, unaware of their fate. Final images showing strange lights and blurred shadows. Each picture a frozen memory of hope and horror. They remind us of the thin line between life and death, and the secrets nature still holds. The mountain where it happened has a new name. Visitors leave flowers and notes in the snow. They honor 9 souls lost to mystery, and they ask the mountain for answers it never gives. Time has not erased the questions. If anything, it has made them stronger. Each new theory breathes life into the mystery. Each voice adds to the legend. The truth lies buried in the snow, untouched, and perhaps it always will. The Dyatlov Pass Incident continues to inspire endless speculation. Scientists, journalists, and enthusiasts all search for closure. But each answer leaves 1,000 new questions. The mountain remains indifferent, silent, and eternal. It guards the truth beneath layers of snow and time, and no one has broken that silence. The tragedy reminds us of the fragility of human life. 9 young souls, full of hope, vanished in terror. Their journals showed laughter, music, and friendship. But the snow preserved only fear and unanswered riddles. They set out as adventurers and became mysteries. And we still wonder why. Imagine cutting through your own tent in panic, running half-dressed into a storm at midnight, feeling the freezing wind bite into your skin, knowing each step may be your last. What could drive experienced hikers to such madness? That question has never been solved. Theories will continue to multiply. Some will cling to science, others to conspiracy. Some will speak of avalanches, others of aliens. But none will ever silence the haunting facts. The tent ripped open, the bodies broken in unnatural ways. This case is not only about death. It is about the unknown, about fear itself. It shows how small we are against forces we cannot name. It proves that history is full of shadows, and sometimes the shadows refuse to leave. The Dyatlov Pass is one of those shadows. Even now, people travel to the site. They walk the same snow where the hikers fell. They hope to feel what they felt, to see what they saw. But the mountain keeps its silence. Only the wind answers, whispering through the trees. And the truth remains frozen. So I ask you, what do you believe happened? Do you trust the avalanche theory? Do you think the military knew more than they revealed? Or do you believe something far stranger occurred? Leave your theory in the comments. I want to hear it. This mystery belongs to all of us. If you want to explore more stories like this, stay with us. Subscribe now to AshenVault for more documentaries. From lost civilizations to unsolved crimes and chilling mysteries, together we will search through the ashes of history and uncover the secrets buried in silence. The vault is open. Will you step inside?